Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Dan French. This is Wealthytainment. We have a great show for you today. I'm going to talk a lot about Grant Cardone and what's happened with him in this $100 million lawsuit with this gentleman named John Legere. He's the T-Mobile past CEO, net rating or net worth of $137 million. And so it's very interesting because, looking at this situation, Grant Cardone somewhat had, I wouldn't say he had a shaky past, but there's been people that, speculate if he's actually legit or not. Have they, he's been in class action lawsuits. So we're going to discuss that today. A lot of people, they want to invest into properties. They want to believe in something or someone. And Grant Cardone, he's not a bad person, but he does have some things that people question about, right? So we're going to talk about that situation. Should you invest at all with anybody, that a person like Grant Cardone, and then what do we think the outcome is going to be for this lawsuit that's going on with John Legere and also Grant Cardone. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in my friend here, Chris. What's up, buddy? How are you?
My brother, what's going on? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We had a lot of people recently they've really kind of gravitated to the channel. Anybody out there that's looking to, get more of this content, please subscribe, like the channel, give us some support. And that's it. Let's get into this topic.
You talk about my life and my recovery and the whole deal, but you're out drinking.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with
Well,
one,
I think
John.
the world might have a problem with your story, Grant.
Why are you trying to diminish everybody in the room?
No, just you, Grant, because you're a fucking con man. I'll say this on this room right now. I believe that in the next year, Grant Cardone will be found guilty of fraud. I believe that Grant Cardone will be found guilty of fraud, and I want nothing to do with it.
John, do you know of anybody that I have been fraudulent to?
I think you're a fake, somebody that says I used to be an addict, and I think you're fake. That's my opinion.
Well, thank you. But you've never done business with me. You've never given me.
And I wouldn't do business with you, Grant. You've been begging me to do business with you for 5 years, and I won't.
I don't think I've ever offered you any money to do anything or any partnership.
By the way, he's not a billionaire.
Yep.
He doesn't have close to $1 billion. And he is somebody.
John? How do you know?
Somebody here. He's somebody who is self-promoting. And if you go to the world, go to the world of CNBC, go to CNN, go to the world, ask about Grant Cardone. He doesn't exist.
How do you know what I'm worth, John?
How do I know what you're spending under the radar to live your lifestyle?
How do you know where my money comes from? You don't know anything about me financially? Just admit that, John.
So how much you paying to the church, Grant?
John, John, what does that matter?
How much you paying to the church?
John, what do you know about me financially? You just said you just made a bunch of claims about
I don't know. What I know, Grant, is that you say all the time you're a billionaire, that you have $4 billion. So in real estate, do you? Are you a billionaire?
John, what do you know about my finances?
Here's your chance, Grant. Are you a billionaire?
I don't need a chance with you. You're the one who's coming in here.
Tell the group. Hey, Grant, your profile says you're a billionaire. Are you a billionaire?
John, I'm not going to even answer your questions right now.
Are you close?
Until you answer some of mine, I'm not going to answer yours, okay?
Let the group know that a very simple statement is Grant Cardone a billionaire, yes or no? He won't answer.
Well, it'd be hard for me to state that. I don't know how I could state that publicly and it not be true without having banks come back and say, bro, what are you doing?
So you know what the answer is, Grant? You're not.
John,
assets versus debt. With a market at 7% mortgage rates, how you doing?
John, I'm doing great. How do you know?
You say all the time you're a billionaire. You say it all the time, but you're not, and you won't say it.
How do you know that, John?
It's great. Yes or no? Grant Cardone, are you a billionaire?
John, how do you know?
There you go. Come on, that says it all it needs, Grant.
Okay, let me ask
You're
you
a big talker.
So, Chris, what do you think, man? We have a $100 million lawsuit, defamation lawsuit going on. This lawsuit is obviously coming from Grant Cardone himself in 2015. They were actually friends, this guy, John Legere, and I think I'm saying his last name right, but that's how it's spelled. CEO, past CEO of T-Mobile, got him up to number 3. So he did well. His net worth, like I said, is $137 million. Yet he's come out in the news and stated that, Grant Cardone is a fraud. Even though they were friends, he's a fraud. Wouldn't trust him. He's somewhat of a used car salesman approach. And, let's be honest. I mean, some of the stuff that we see with Grant Cardone, don't know him personally, seems like a good guy. So I'm not going to sit here and say, I know all about Grant Cardone, but defamation lawsuit coming from him. John is basically stating that, I would not invest with Grant Cardone. I think he's a fake. And, maybe he was in front of Grant Cardone at some point and they were friends, like I said, in 2015, saw firsthand what Grant Cardone was all about. And so I think a lot of people have problems with now investing with Grant Cardone just because of a lot of people coming out, especially with his, where his stature is at, right? For him having that much money, being a CEO, he's somewhat in the limelight, stating that he doesn't trust Grant Cardone's practice or what his methods are, and questions his integrity and also his him being a fraud. So what do you think about this, Chris? You think this is a big deal?
No, I don't think it's a big deal, brother. It's here in at least in America, we're a sue-happy country. Do I think that you should not sue somebody, especially if they are slandering your name and they are hurting the credibility of your business, of your livelihood, your character? By all means, that's why laws are created for us to protect ourselves against false claims. And also, what I will say is that I've never been sued, nor have I ever had to sue somebody individually. But I'll say this: at one point, I think the key point is you said that they were friends, and the fact that they weren't able to talk about their differences like two men lets you know how far a miscommunication can go, to where now you are having to fight off lawyers, hire a team to protect your name and protect yourself. Now this guy's that Grant Cardone suing is going to have to turn around and put money up as well to defend himself against what he just said about Grant Cardone. I guess my final point on that, or my statement, I should say, is that when two people have a difference, being able to have a phone call and hash that out at all cost before going to the courts would be my approach in any and everything.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think so? It's $100 million lawsuit, right, for defamation. Because what Grant Cardone is saying, that he lost that much money because of him saying the negative things about his name and what he does, and also his investments, right? So is that something that when you look at this situation of $100 million, is that what people are really focusing on today, which is because social media, because there's so many outlets and everybody's getting information, and let's be honest, people are quick to believe what they see in social media. They don't do the research. Who's really going to take the research and find out really what went down and what was going on there? But could that really affect somebody's business at that level? Because he's coming out saying, by John doing that, because John is, people know who John is out there, and especially in the business world. By him doing that and coming out and saying that he's fake, that's really maybe messing up his business, right? Messing up his overall income for his company. And so a lot of things going on with this. And it seems like Grant has kind of been in the news about some people trust his ability. Some people believe in what he's saying. There's a lot of people that don't. I personally went in to look at Grant Cardone just to check out what he did. And he does send out mass emails, sign up, sign up, sign up. He wants $300. He wants $300. What his whole objective is when you do the 10, it's the 10X rule, is to sign up, go to their meetings or their seminars, sign up, and then you're now on some type of program where you're getting taught how to become an investor, right? And so there's a coaching cost into this, and I think that's what he's pushing. And so being that that's his business, or one of his big sources of business, would you think that this is something that Grant really lost $100 million at, or is this just something that he just threw a number out?
I mean, you always shoot high and see if you can get a settlement. I don't know. I don't know what he generates off his coaching coaching revenue and his teaching business or his sales training. Everyone gets sued, brother. Sooner or later, when you start getting up to the top. I remember Chipotle went through something where people were getting sick, right? Did that hurt their business? It hurt their business, and they got to rebrand, restructure. There's always bigger companies, much more bigger than Grant Cardone. They get lawsuits. Amazon had a thing where they weren't treating their workers right. So they have to defend themselves against that. People were working under very stressed environments, and they felt like they were being underpaid. I think Uber right now is going through something to where the drivers aren't making what they had once were. So in any capacity, once you start to generate a certain amount of money that supersedes, I guess, in the public figure, ultimate wealth, then yes, how you like, we'll just use Grant Cardone. A lot of he's a supreme marketer. So if he's out here marketing that he can help you become an investor and he can help you 10x your money or whatever those returns are, partaking in his course, in his group, and there's another person out here that's just as credible, at least running a company, is saying, hey, this guy's a fraud, he's a fake, don't sign up for his company, then yes, he could lose that money. How they come up with those calculations, I'm not quite sure. They just throw out a number. His legal team figures all that out. Grant Cardone can get a couple million settlement out of it, or maybe he's not even looking for a settlement. Gets him in the news, gets him to show that, hey, there's always another motive behind that motive, right? It also shows to the public, hey, listen, I'm not going to allow people to just out here and shit on my name, right? You coming for me, I'm going to come for you. Like, that's not accurate. This guy's a clown. He doesn't know anything, the ins and outs about my business. This is what we do for people. And for him to come out, or for anybody to come out and say that I'm a fraud, fake, and I'm out here being dishonest with my business, well, I got something for you.
Yeah, look, let's just go back. So social media, the news, people, they're quick to judge. You know, they always say, you know, until proven guilty, but really let's not kid ourselves. A lot of people don't do that. When you look at Grant Cardone, he comes out and he's always saying, you know, I'm worth over $1 billion. Everybody's got to show credibility because he's trying to be a coach, right? An investment coach. A lot of these people are out there lifetime coaches and have to bring credibility. But really nobody sees those numbers. Nobody really sees, is this guy really worth, or is this person, this, you know, could be a girl, whatever. Are they really worth the money? And I always say, you got to do your research, right? You got to find out, what are people saying about an individual? And for the most part, I don't know, it's like 50-50. I see a lot of people that just say he's a fraud. You know, they say that he's not what he says he is, you know, somewhat of a snake oiled salesman, right? There's a lot of people that say, yeah, he's made some money, or I've had made some money with him. But when you go back and you have to keep pushing yourself, you know, he had people that he hired like Tom Brady and some of these celebrities out here to come out and basically, you know, go and endorse his product. Kevin Hart, Donald Trump. I mean, he's had John Travolta. He's had a lot of people out here endorsing his product, which is great. But at the end of it is, you know, do you believe in the product? Do you believe in what he is saying? And are you willing to take that risk of investing money to 10x this lawsuit? You know, people always are skeptical about Grant Cardone, or people like him that pull money together to invest into properties or multi-unit buildings and properties. And again, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think that if you have people, there's an instance where I had somebody call me, they were going to invest $50,000. And I've done investments myself, but I've done a lot of research, you know, found out about talking to others, what's your return on investment, your ROI, right? How long did it take you to get to the level of, you know, what your projection was as far as getting the money back in return, or the returns that you wanted? And also, what does that portfolio look like for that investor or investors that are asking you to invest with them? And you also have to talk to other investors and their history with these investors. So to me, when this person came to me, he was like, should I invest this money? He was seeking out additional information. I might not have been the last person he spoke to, but he did have he had skepticism on the actual contract. He had thoughts that maybe this contract wasn't legit, or it just seemed too not really concise on what the outcome would be, and who loses the money. It would be him. Again, people lose money investing money with others that they don't have a history with. A lot of times, not a lot of, they don't put a lot of history because the name Grant Cardone, and I'm not saying he's doing that, but there's a big name out there, or you have people that have big names out there that say, hey, let's pull our money together, invest. It's always a risk. And so when, I had that instance and I said, look, why don't you talk with others? He ended up speaking with others. And in this investor, he said, I wasn't making the money I was supposed to make, by a lot of these other people saying, it wasn't exactly what the investor said it would be. So he ended up not doing it. That doesn't mean don't invest your money. I just remember that time because I was kind of thinking, he's asking me because he has trust with me, and I wasn't trying to talk this person out of doing it. But it's interesting because Grant Cardone has a name. People think just by putting money in with a gentleman like him or somebody of that stature will actually produce money or a huge ROI at some point. Doesn't always work out. And I think that's when people start to get frustrated. They lose their money, and it's a risk. So that was one instance that I can remember somebody coming to me and asking me about this contract. And I just, gave them the pros and cons. They ended up not doing it. And, I don't know. For me, I feel like if a lot of people were making a ton of money at this, I'm not saying that there's people that's not, you would probably have a lot more people going to that. But what do you think? Why do you think Grant Cardone is so successful? Is it just his marketing, right? I mean, we don't know what his numbers are. We don't know what he's actually making. We don't know anything about Grant Cardone as far as his books and what he's filing on his tax returns. He's not showing those, right? He's a great marketer. What is his situation though with people? Do people really have his trust, or would you consider him a fraud?
I can't consider him a fraud because I haven't been defrauded by him. So I wouldn't consider him a fraud, or anyone else that I haven't felt like I was defrauded from them. I believe that anybody you're right, he's a wonderful marketer, and he's in the media a lot. He's in the news. He's got reality shows, and his brand is where he generates, I would have to say, probably 80% of his revenue. And people will say, well, no, he generates his revenue from real estate. Yeah, but because of his brand, that's how people are investing into his fund and into his real estate syndicate, because of this brand, and he's out there. So there are a lot of people that do trust him with their money in terms of investing into real estate. So his brand is what fuels that. He has bold statements. Anybody who's out here making bold statements and standing on those statements, whether they repel you or attract you, the point is that he has been a real estate guy. He's made some bold claims. He's made bold statements. He stands in those statements. Very rarely does he retract from those statements. People like that. So he has come on the scene. He's been hot for, almost 10 years now in terms of a social media presence and 10X and all these companies that he has. And so in terms of that, he's done a great job. His real estate fund, I have no idea. I don't know anything about that, and whether he's a fraud or not, I don't care. And I can't say that I think he is or he's not.
Well, I'm going to say this. He's been involved in a few class action lawsuits. Apparently he's won, or they've been thrown out. But one of the things that is kind of intriguing to me is that, he celebrates when he has stuff like that fall out, or, at the end of the day, man, you got to still be a big boy and put your big boy pants on, right? And be like, somebody lost money, apparently, or at least this person's, they're accusing him of losing, I think it was 10,000, or suing him for 14,000. Regardless, you just move on, man. I just think that people get involved in this little petty, situation, and it's almost, and this is maybe his personality. I don't know Grant Cardone, but like I said, he seems like a decent guy for me. I probably would not invest with him just because, you want people that, in my opinion, you want people that are not pitching to do a 10X, do seminars, in my opinion, because I want somebody that's going to be a little bit more in tune with giving me more one-on-one or personalized service, right? That's what I'm looking for. If you're an investor out there, there's other investors. You go to these networking companies. We talked about it. Grant Cardone is just another investor that pulls money together to invest into properties. That's what I've known. I'm sure he's got other things going on, but just in this situation, we're talking about investing. This is where I just don't know if I would invest into somebody that's pitching him, and they're almost a marketing guru versus a investment guru, right? These investments and these investors, it's almost like a click. What he's doing is going out to the masses and trying to get the average person out there, which is great, to start investing into his, into his practice or into what he's doing. And a lot of these people don't have, that's all they have is the 10,000 or 15,000. You're not dealing with, big whales that have money. And so that's why I think people get triggered more. And I think that's why a lot of times when he's pitching sales, marketing, it kind of washes out what his original objective is, which is to help people make more money on sound investments. Being in class action lawsuits, his name's been out there. I don't know. I probably would not invest with him. He's probably a great guy. I'm sure a lot of people have made money with him. But you got any last thoughts for that?
Nah, brother. That was my last excerpt on that.
All right, guys. If you guys have any questions, please subscribe, like the channel. We'll see you guys at the next video. We're out of here.